when the dust settled on my divorce, the thing that I really realized that I was missing was actually my dog. Well, it wasn't exactly my dog. It had been our dog. It had been his dog. I actually didn't even like dogs when I first met the man that I married. But we went through a lot with those dogs. And really, I discovered that I loved having that sort of soft, furry presence in the house. But when we got our divorce, I had been living overseas, and when I came back, I moved to New York City, and I had never lived in New York City before, so I couldn't quite imagine how I was going to handle having a dog in a big city. I mean, I lived in a fourth floor walk-up, so, first of all, there was like, how do I get the food up the stairs? Usually I use the car as my sort of doggy bag, like everywhere I went, the dog went in the purse with me, the car. And so I was sort of trying to get my mind around how that was going to work, so I started fostering dogs. And the first dog that I fostered, I thought, I need to have a small dog because it's an apartment. And the first dog that I fostered was a Chihuahua named Rita. And I had never been interested in small dogs, really. I mean, not that I really knew, because the only dogs I ever had any experience with were these two big black dogs. And so Rita was a Chihuahua, small, and needed to be on my lap at all times. Had so many physical ailments. But I knew that kind of the end of times was near with us when she started peeing all the time in my small apartment. Anyway, so things didn't work out with me and Rita, and I wasn't able to find her a forever home either. And then I went on to another dog. I thought, I'm going to try a big dog. Maybe I need to do the big dog thing because that's what I like. So I had this big dog. Oh my gosh, I loved this big dog, except this dog was hugely strong. And it was a pit bull. There are a lot of pit bulls in rescues in New York City, and it would pull me. Now, at the time, my main sources of income were writing and teaching yoga, and so I literally couldn't afford to be pulled down by this dog on an icy street in New York City. And so again, but this dog did get adopted. Yay, the good news for the big dog. But it was, it was all the problems for all the reasons that I expected, like trying to cart the food up to my house and the pulling and the, how am I going to exercise it and how am I going to find the time to deal with this big dog? And so a long time passed, and I was getting really discouraged, and I said to this friend of mine, I feel like I'm never going to get a dog. And she was like, the perfect dog will come along. And I'm like, yeah, that is what people say. That's that kind of fucking truism, like, love will come when you're not looking. Fuck you. The only time I'm not looking is when I'm passed out on anesthesia. Even then I'm probably thinking, is the doctor cute? Anyway, lo and behold, I had another rescue opportunity because, when you walk on the street in New York City, there's an opportunity for just about anything. You want to be in a show, you want to, whatever, run sound for a movie, or do you want to adopt a dog? And this dog was perfect. This dog was a medium dog. And it was a little Australian sheep herd. They're called like mini Australian sheep herding dogs, but they're not as small as like a Chihuahua, and they're not big like a pit bull. It was like a 20-pound dog. And I was like, oh my God. And the dog was so cute and so smart. This dog had never seen steps before. It was very obvious to me the first time we got to my apartment, like, I don't know what to do with these steps. And then I showed it kind of how to get up, and then boop, 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 right up. And I was like, I like this dog. And I immediately was like, this is the right dog, because I don't need to have 1,000 pounds of food and da-da-da-da-da. So I contacted the adoption agency, and they said, we're sorry, that dog has been adopted. And I was like, what? I have to give up this dog that I felt life is wrong. And so once again, I just thought, it's not going to happen for me. Lo and behold, one day I was in Brooklyn, I was walking around with my friend Paula, and she's like, oh look, they're having an adoption event. And I was like, I don't know. And then and then I saw him. My favorite thing about Hartley right away was it was a freezing cold day in February, and Hartley was like, oh no, I'm not going outside. And I was like, yes, I like you! And, he hugged me right away. He like put his paws up on me, and he like put his face on me, and my heart melted. And of course you have to try out to get a dog in New York, by the way. So this was a badass Brooklyn Animal Rescue event, and I had to get 3 references, and I had to complete a home visit and pay an exorbitant amount of money, and then the dog was mine. And the whole time I'm like, am I gonna make it? And and this dog has turned out to be perfect for me in so many ways. Very smart, very kind, so patient, so trusting, so loving. But the interesting thing, the dog is loving, but doesn't really love me. It's kind of like having a cat in the house that's got a tail and like goes to the bathroom outside, because cats have tails too. But what the cat has really, or what the dog has really shown me though, is kind of what it means to love unconditionally, because you don't get it back. You really don't. I mean, it's all give, 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 give. And what I have learned about myself is that is the most fulfilling aspect of the kind of love that I can have with an animal. I can completely give, and it's not about what am I going to get in return. And then I met the love of my life. Thanks, I think, to Hartley Paul DeLumbo. Thank you.